Okay, welcome to Politics Today on Africa TV. My name is Jason. I'm going to be giving you some quick updates. The first update being the disqualification of former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, from running as president in the upcoming South African elections. You know, South Africans are going to vote um, on 29 May this year, and Jacob Zuma was kind of playing hide and seek. He says he's an ANC member. He says he's a member of African National Congress, but he was campaigning for MK. The name MK stands for Umkhonto Wesizwe. So this name was being contested by the ANC itself. The ANC says MK Umkhonto Wesizwe is its property. It's property of the ANC. Yes, we all know there's the history of South Africa and the fight against apartheid rule back then. So Umkhonto Wesizwe was the armed wing of the political wings or of ANC, should we say. And former President Jacob Zuma comes in this year and forms it as a political party and starts to run with it. But in so doing, he was telling the whole world that he is an ANC member, but he is campaigning for a different political party. Fikile Mbalula, the current Secretary General of ANC, actually told people that Zuma had defined himself clearly by campaigning for another political party. And Zuma was being deceitful and corrupt as usual, because Zuma was dismissed or was recalled by his party in the middle of his second term because of corruption issues and failure to govern. So you can see the tendencies of Jacob Zuma. Instead of being able to think of a name for a new political party, Jacob Zuma comes and takes just a name which belongs to his former political party, ANC, and says, my new political party is called Umkhonto Wesizwe. So this is how corrupt Zuma is. And this is how incompetent Jacob Zuma is. Because if a person cannot think of a name for a political party and simply grabs a name that he had from his former political party that he is deserting and rebelling against, then can that person be trusted to fix the problems of South Africa? Problems like gun violence, people are stabbed and killed every day in South Africa. Caches, we see cars that transport money, they are waylaid every day. All that needs a person who can think outside the box. So if Zuma failed to think about a name of a political party, then people are scared that Zuma has come again with his incompetence. He can't think of the name of a party and he wants to run a country by stealing names from his former party. What more things was Jacob Zuma going to steal? It remains to be seen. So yes, this is the quick update. So he submitted his candidate, now not as an ANC member, but as a candidate for the party he was saying he doesn't belong to, but he's just campaigning for, Umkhonto Wesizwe, MK. And when he submitted these papers, fortunately, he was disqualified because he didn't meet the requirements for presidential candidates because of his previous criminal records. So now MK is wounded. They have no presidential candidate. if they will run around to look for someone, then that person won't be as popular as Jacob Zuma. And it looks like MK Umkhonto Sizwe has suffered the natural death of most political parties that came out of the African National Congress. There are so many of them, they never made it because of making wrong decisions and wrong choices. In all fairness, I think Jacob Zuma was supposed to just quit politics and continue being the former president, looking at other areas that needs to be developed in the country, advising the ANC to do a good job from his experience as a former cadre. If I was Jacob Zuma or his advisor, I would have told him to look outside South Africa. There are many things that need to be fixed. For example, we've got the war in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. We have the war between Israel and Hamas. Those are things and jobs for former presidents like Jacob Zuma to go around the world preaching peace, trying to make peace, and telling people, discussing, negotiating peace deals between warring and disagreeing parties and groups around the world. That would have made him probably a better former president. So, as we are speaking, there were also some surveys that were done in South Africa. People are saying the ANC won't be able to get 50% in these elections because, of course, we all know that towards elections in Africa, there is something called the regime change agenda. Regime change agenda would be working very well, especially when we look at geopolitics, where America was at odds with South Africa. South Africa's non-aligned foreign policy. South Africa's unchanging foreign policy. America wanted South Africa to be on her side in as far as the Russia-Ukraine war is concerned. South Africa chose to be non-aligned. America wanted South Africa to keep quiet about what is happening in Palestine, when they know very well that Palestine and South Africa have been in the trench together fighting apartheid. So they've been friends because of that. South Africa took Israel to court. They took Israel to court, and America were not happy about that. They wanted to punish the ANC government. We also saw America passing kind of a bill, an act to review their relationship with South Africa. And they put up a statement, a scathing statement of tarnishing the South African ANC-led government. Those are the usual tactics of America when it comes to regime change. When they are not happy with a certain political party which is running another country, they want that political party to go. And of course, they will stop at nothing to probably play around the rand so that it becomes a weak currency or just playing around the stock markets and all these things to ensure that by May, the South African economy will be screaming and people will say, okay, let's vote out ANC. And after that, they'll vote in someone who will actually be intimidated further by the Americans. The Americans, they don't need people who cow down. They need people who soldier on or who stand with their principle. For example, look at the Chinese. They stood with their principles. They continue to be a leading nation. They found the way to live around hostilities and geopolitical fights from the USA. So South Africa, at this moment, I think it needs a government of the ANC so that the ANC can continue from where they left and be able to fix this, the economy, and also to continue fighting for what they believe is right as a nation. And a country like South Africa needs to be run by an academic or a successful business person, because all people want are jobs and all people want are ideas. So the ANC, I think it's time after this election, when they get into a government of coalition or a government of themselves, they need to think much about putting the right people in the right position, mixing academics and successful business people to create jobs in South Africa. So we also have elections going on this year in Madagascar. We have elections going on in Namibia. We have elections in Mauritius. We have elections in Botswana as well. I'll be talking about them in my tomorrow's presentation. So for now, I was giving an update of the situation in South Africa, the upcoming elections. Zuma is not going to contest as the presidential candidate. He was disqualified by the election board of South Africa. So it's now an issue between the DA, EFF of Julius Malema, and Cyril Ramaphosa's ANC. Those three parties are the three parties which have enough support and which are tipped to do well in these elections. MK is now history because they don't have a candidate. Their candidate was just going around talking, nothing, but just parading his popular face there with with nothing to offer to the people in as far as issues of gun violences, border control, issues to do with job creation, and emancipation of the South African child, and also the redistribution of the land so that everyone can get a piece and everyone can get to enjoy the fruits of South Africa. So yeah, that's what we are talking about today on Africa TV. Have a great time wherever you are, and I'll keep you updated about what's going on in politics today. Africa Today, Africa TV, signing out. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll meet in my next production. Thank you.